Well, hello and welcome to yet another live stream. First question I've got to ask everyone is, can you hear me okay? Because my friend Glenn, who's with us, he can't hear me. So if you can hear me, just give him a shout out. He's disappeared. I think he's looking for his speakers and he's shaking his head.
I can't hear a sausage at all. So I'm probably going to leave and then I'll come back.
I'm going to remove you for a second then. So, technical difficulties for Glenn. But how is everyone? Thank you for joining me as usual. I'm going to see who's in the room with us. And it looks like everyone can hear me, bar Glenn, which is quite handy, being as is meant to be streaming with me. I think he's leaving and then going to come back in and see if he can hear it as well. But for now, I'm going to whip through and see who's in the room because we've got a few people with us. First up, we've got Anthony Lipiello. Good evening, Anthony, or afternoon. Hope you're well. Good afternoon, happy Easter, Phil, Glenn, and all you lovely people in the chat. I want to let you know that it's my birthday this Tuesday, the 22nd or 22nd. Happy birthday, Anthony. I hope you have a good one, and I hope you get lots of cool movies and stuff through. Jeremy Carr is with us as well. Happy Easter to you too, Jeremy. Hope you're well. AJ Pink is with us. Hey, Jeremy, Anthony, happy Easter. Well, where's my hay there, AJ? Anthony's with us again as well. Hello and happy Easter to Jeremy. Whipping through here. There's a lot of my comments on here about making a brew. Lynn in the other room is with us as well. Hello, Lynn. Hope you're well. Cam curates cinema. Evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. We're good here, Cam. Well, I am. I'm not sure about Glenn. Hope you're well as well. Evening all from AJ. There we go. John Robinson with us. Evening, Phil, Glenn. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you as well. Hope you've had lots of chocolate, because we've gone mad for the chocolate with my kids, which is fun. Big Jace is in the building as well. Good evening, Phil, Glenn. How are you all? I'm good. Glenn, I think he's stressing about his speakers at the moment, so we'll see. Rarebooks, hello. Hope you're well. Rarebooks as well. Joshua Connolly with us as well. Good evening, Joshua. Hope you're well. So today's stream, we could be... we've got Glenn back. Let's see if... Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. For some reason, I've not adjusted my settings whatsoever, and yet for some reason, he's decided to just change up. So, anyway, I'm back.
It was the IT case of turn it off and turn it back on again.
Basically, that was how I sorted it, yes.
So hi. Hello to everyone in the chat so far.
Okay.
So, without further ado, I suppose we ought to just get into it, really, don't we?
Get into it.
Yeah. Is this too fancy for us now? I'm starting to think it looks a bit too fancy.
Is it a bit too fancy? I don't know. I mean, you say a bit too fancy. Is it? I'm not sure.
Just joined us. We've got John the Movie Man as well.
Hey, John the Movie Man.
You're doing well. So this topic I picked out. Why keep everything? It was a bit of a downer topic, and as I've been going on thinking about things, looking at the slides, I kind of started thinking about some positives to it as well. So I'm a bit muddled with this topic, really, because I don't know which way I'm kind of swinging with this now. Well, I do, but I don't. I think I'm muddled. This is what I mean. I'm muddled. So did you just want to jump into topic of the week, or did you want to go to other stuff first? Have you got anything to talk about?
I think we'll just go other stuff first, shall we?
You want to do other stuff before the topic?
I'm just. What do you
want to go with?
Well, I want you to start on the topic for sure, because, like you said, you're a swinger. Apparently, yeah, baby. What are you swinging about? What is your? I'm unsure. I think it's just playing to the crowd, putting Howard the Duck.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean,
just
Big Jace noticed it. You have to keep.
I mean, yeah. You've got to keep
Big Jace, I actually planted Howard the Duck on this thumbnail and the thumbnail for my video before as well. I was hoping you was going to notice and comment, but I don't think you noticed. Not looking close enough at the thumbnails. We've got Cerberus YT as well. Hi, people. Hi, Cerberus. Keberus. I'm not sure how you pronounce that one.
Cerberus, I'd go with.
What we'll do then is we'll jump straight into topic of the week, just to keep Glenn happy.
Okay. Do it.
So, why the main question that I was thinking of for this, with our collecting habits, why do we have so many when we rewatch so few. And I think this is sort of, for me, at least for me, it's changed over time. I used to rewatch a hell of a lot. Used to seem to have a lot of time to go back through my collection, rewatch things, watch the making of, listen to commentaries and things like that. But now I'm finding that with a lot of the new releases, I'm just not going back to them. There's a lot of the things that are coming out. I say new releases; these aren't particularly newer.
Yeah.
But the things that I've potentially picked up, and I'm just not going back to, there's sort of one-time views, and they're sat in my collection. And it just got me thinking for the topic, why do I have so many when there's so few that I go back to? Do you? Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's my topic over.
That's the topic of the week done. There we go.
Do you find this with age? Do you still go back to a lot, or is it sort of dying down? Is it particular titles or particular things that you go back for?
Yeah, there's certain titles that kind of, for whatever reason, just grab me, and I want to kind of go back to. I said to you in the week, it's a film that you weren't particularly bothered about, but The Substance, for example, I've rewatched 3 times now, I think, because there's just something about it where I think often it's a film where you can just dip into it. It doesn't have to be from the start all the way to the end. You can kind of watch in increments or something like that. Something I'll put on as a background film quite a lot is Glass Onion. I know it like the back of my hand. I know the script really well, but I will still pop it on. It's there in the background. As to whether there's any films that I can say, I sit down like once a month and watch from start to finish. No, I don't think there is. No. But is that because we don't want to go back to them, or there's just something new to watch?
That's it. It's then it kind of brings me to this. It's what I've been going through with my collection, with wanting to get rid of a lot. It's sort of spawned on from that, and looking through what I've got and thinking, a lot of these I've had in the collection for a long time, and I've got the collection, and it's big collection, whatever. But I think I never go back to these. Was there any point in really buying them, and is there any point to keeping them? And that's what's sort of been on my mind a lot with them, because I know there's films in the past I've watched no end of times, and those are films that will always stop in my collection. They're the ones I'll go back to time and time again. There's films that I have on in the background and things like that I'm really familiar with, that I can just pick out, dip in and out and things like that. But there's so much of my collection that doesn't have that. And
do you not think that, it's a typical kind of collector excuse, but it's kind of, well, I did like it, and I'm sure I'll rewatch it at some point. So you have it in your collection as like an emergency watch. It's there if you need it.
Yeah.
When actually 9 times out of 10, we'll sit and we'll scroll through kind of Netflix or Prime or something to try and find it or something like it.
Yeah.
Before we actually come and take it off the shelf. So do you need it? I mean, we'll watch something. I don't think it's as bad now as in you watch something at the cinema and the physical release of that film is quite close to it. It's a few months as opposed to 6 or 8 months or something like that, where actually a few years ago we'd have watched something at the cinema, we liked something. You've then got that big time period where you can't even purchase it or see it any other way. So by the time it actually comes out, you want it in your collection and you're probably going to watch it. I think everything comes out in such quick succession now. There's not that kind of need to rewatch straight away.
No. And to be honest, some of the collection, like the image that I threw up here, these are things that have been or still are in my collection. And the things that I don't think I'll ever go back to any of those. If I want to rewatch, I have particular films that I would go back to for the rewatch, things that are more interesting to me than these movies. So I can't put my finger on why I bought some of these. Was it to make up the collection? Was it do you know what I mean? It's back to that thing of Die Hard. What was it called? Did Live Free or Die Hard? Is it
Live Free or Die Hard? A Good Day to Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah, that came as part of a box set anyway, so it's a bad example, but I had to have it as part of a collection. Bad Boys Ride or Die, you have to have it because it's part of your Bad Boys collection. Venom, you have to have it because it's part of a Spider-Man collection in a way. Peppermint, you have to have it because you use Jennifer
Garner. Yeah,
and you know, it's these things that why do I keep them in my collection when they were just one-time watch? Why do I feel the need to have a collection of things that, yes, they're related to the films that I enjoy, but they're not films that I want to go back to?
I think it's difficult to break the loop, the routine that we've always had, where, you know, when we were really starting out collecting, there wasn't Netflix, there wasn't Prime, there wasn't Disney Plus. There wasn't the digital option in any way, shape, or form. If you liked a film, you wanted to watch a film, or you thought you might want to watch that film again, you bought a copy of it and it sat on your shelf.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for us to break that mindset, to be honest.
I remember at a time, actually, with VHS, when there just wasn't the option to purchase as well. There wasn't that there. It was literally rental only.
Yeah, and then beyond that, like I say, you'd see a film at a cinema. 11 or 12 months later, it would come on rental. And then how long would it be between it being rental? You either bought an ex-rental copy or you actually waited for it to come on to retail. I mean, how long was that between that?
Rental, then was it a year to purchase it, and then another
year beyond that?
6 months to a year till it went to the premium channels, and then it was another year on top of that until it hit the TV. You're talking like 4 or 5 years after its initial VHS rental release till it hit any TV station.
I used to pick up quite a lot of X rentals because if it was a big title, somewhere will get lots of copies in, and then obviously for that first 3 to 6 months, they would rent those copies out quite a lot.
Yeah,
and then something new comes along, and that gets pushed further back, so they'd sell an X rental copy. So I owned quite a lot of X rental.
I'll tell you what, there's recently, slightly off topic, but we're going through these movies that we have in our collection that we don't find the rewatch. There is something that I don't have in the collection that I really, really want to go back to rewatch. I did enjoy the film, and I don't know why I've not picked it up. I can't put my finger on why I didn't pick it up, and it is a film I want to go back and rewatch. And I'm like, well, if I bought Venom, and that's not getting rewatched at all, then why didn't I buy this movie that I enjoyed that I actually now want to rewatch? And my purchasing habits kind of leave me a little bit bewildered at times.
A, it's not off topic. B, what is the title of that film?
It's Lost in Translation.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a film that I really enjoyed, and I know there's, and I'm up for a rewatch of it again now, and I've not got it, and there's not a particularly nice Blu-ray edition out or anything like that. I don't think it's got a standard Blu-ray, but it's not. It doesn't feel particularly special or anything. And I'm like, no, I don't want just a standard one. I don't want Arrow to release a nice limited edition hard box.
But again, with something like Lost in Translation, I mean, you might feel differently. I don't think you do. Otherwise, you'd own a copy of it. I think if you rewatched it, that's probably done again for another 10 years or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, again, a rewatch. It's not something you pop on every few months, is it?
Yeah. Could be a rental.
Yeah, exactly.
Before I go into the next bit of this sort of topic, I'm just going to rush. I'm just going to go through the comments. I'm not going to rush through them. I'm going to go through them. Jeremy Carr, straight away, I rewatch a lot personally. I'd love to. There's so many I'd love to go back and rewatch, but I'd say not.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you know, you and I could go to our shelves now. Oh, God, never get that right because I'm looking at myself in the camera. We could go over there and probably grab 20 titles off there.
Yeah.
And they're the things that we would rewatch fairly frequently. You know, if I had to watch Scream, Gross Point Blank, you know, every week for the rest of my life, I'd be fine with that. That'd be okay. Silence of the Lambs, something like that. But then there's other titles that we own that are over there that, do they get watched once every 6 months, once a year, once every 2 years, more than that? I don't know.
Yeah.
And realistically, should, I've named 3 there. Should I be able to get it down to like 30 films that I know I would watch on a regular basis, and I could and they're the only ones I actually need, rather than something sat there gathering dust for a year?
I've got I've got loads of units back here. There's probably 2 small units that I've got. They're literally the top 2 shelves. They're the ones that I will go back to and rewatch time and time again. And you think, could my collection just be those 2 shelves? Would I be happy at that? And everything else I rent or watch some other way?
I think I do that. I think most of these over here, the things that I really like are higher up.
Yeah.
And I think the things that I'm less bothered about and things that I'm, down here, this section down here, are ones that I need to watch, that I've either not watched before or I've not watched for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And they'll be the next ones that kind of go cult-wise. But everything I do like, really love and watch a lot are all kind of up this kind of level.
Yeah.
So it's a similar thing to you in that respect.
I guess mine are all top shelf as well. The ones that I really like.
Yeah, you've always liked top shelf stuff, haven't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
This is why I rewatch a film every Friday. So usually 3 to 4 new watches a week with 1 rewatch.
Nice.
I'd like to do that. There's other stuff I'd like to go back to.
I'm not getting enough time at the minute.
I've been waiting for a rewatch on. You've done it recently on Get Shorty. I've been waiting for a rewatch for a while, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. Woody, hello all. Good evening, Woody. Hope you're well. Brian Smith's with us as well. Hope you're well as well, Brian.
Hey, Brian Smith.
So Barris, if I want to watch something, I can. Sometimes I hang on. Here we go.
Sometimes I
just browse my shelves and just enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
I did enjoy browsing my shelves, but it came to a point that it became overwhelming to browse my shelves when it became too much. And I do enjoy the browse. I'm 100% with you with that. It just came at one point for me that it just felt too much and it felt overwhelming and almost anxiety trigger when you see the piles at the sides and you can't find something amidst a load of mediocrity. It's but I do like browsing shelves. AJ Pink, if I don't like a film as much on the rewatch, then I'll sell it.
Yeah, and that's what we've got to do, I think.
I think that's important because this is something else I've gone through as well. Not necessarily on the rewatch, but when you look back at something, clips of it or something, as time goes on, your tastes change and you just don't see the same thing in it anymore.
Yeah, your taste change and some films really date and you don't expect them to. I've rewatched stuff from the 80s that I loved growing up.
Yeah.
And then to rewatch it, they've just not got the same. And, things progress. Filmmaking techniques progress. To be honest with you, a lot of acting has progressed compared to where it was. And it's just the quality of filmmaking is different now. I'm not saying everything, before anybody jumps on top of me for this, I'm not saying everything that's old is suddenly rubbish. It's not. There is some great stuff out there, but just some stuff doesn't stand the test of time is what I'm saying.
I agree. I admit I rushed to pick up The Last Starfighter from Arrow when they released it, and I can't do it. I can't watch it. It's just not that it's a bad movie. It's just not a movie for me anymore.
Yeah.
As much as I want to still enjoy it, I just don't get that same level of enjoyment from it. Which, I'm considering that one leaving the collection. As much as I loved it when I was a kid, it's just not for me anymore. Yeah. Really dated. Big J's classic 90s action films are easy rewatches for me. The Rock, Con Air, etc.
Yeah.
The heyday of Jerry Bruckheimer.
They are for me as well, but because they're sat there on Disney Plus, I feel the need isn't there for them to be on my shelf anymore. And I'm not saying I'll always have Disney Plus. And if I get rid of Disney Plus, things like Con Air and The Rock and things, and I've frozen, there we go. Nice and easy to pick up and cheap. And, you could argue, but they might go out of print. Yeah, I don't know if they ever will, to be honest.
No. Jeremy, I can't do background film or TV. However, I do music or audio dramas in the background.
Yeah. I mean, when it's a film I've seen enough times, I can kind of wander in and out and still hear it, and I know exactly what's kind of going off visually when I can hear what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's, that's like having an audio drama for me.
I've had a tendency to have a film on in the background while I've been doing something else, and just dip in and out of it. But like you say, it has to be something that I'm really familiar with or has a kick-ass soundtrack, like Roadhouse.
Again, you mentioned earlier about extras and things, and kind of, audio commentaries, for example. Often pop them on, and then you can get on with your housework and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're almost describing the scene that they're kind of, talking about anyway. So you know where they are in the film and things like that.
Yeah.
Miss a good audio commentary.
I do. Some of them have really slipped in quality, I think, now. Bit too technical, some of them now. Tokyo3 is with us as well. Hi, both. Just joining, but the topic sounds interesting already. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is.
Hopefully, yeah.
Big Jace, I find modern films have less of a rewatchability rather than older films.
I don't think that's the case with all films. I mean, there's a reason new films still win Oscars and BAFTAs and Golden Globes and all of these kinds of things. There's still something, otherwise things wouldn't get made.
Yeah.
You've only got it's got to be the right person, but you've only got to look at somebody like Tarantino or something like that. Amazing scripts, amazing kind of character development and things like that. There's still good stuff being churned out.
Yeah, there is. I think it's, again, the quantity over quality. I think we'll get a lot more quantity, so the quality is just a little bit harder to find sometimes.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of crap kind of, Netflix has always got 30 new things starting every week or something. Some of it will be good, some of it is padding. People have different kind of tastes and levels of quality that they're comfortable with and watching and things. So
Woody,
something for everyone.
Same as Jeremy, no movies or TV in the background. Background stuff is music.
Yeah. Like I say, it has to be something I'm very, very familiar with.
Yeah. Good soundtrack for music. Yeah. Rohit's with us as well. Good evening, Rohit. I hope you are doing okay. Jeremy Carr, Labyrinth ending sums it up. Hoggle said, "We'll be here if you need us." Oh, that's nice. And if you are all here, then a like would go a long way.
Does Jeremy mean his collection talks to him?
Quite possibly.
We're here for you, Jeremy. Come and take us off the shelf. Play us, Jeremy.
AJ, there are certain films that are more rewatchable that we always go back to. Mine is Goodfellas. I'll tell you what, AJ.
Fine choice.
Goodfellas is top shelf. It's one of my favourites as well. But next to my Goodfellas, I'm going to jump up. I don't know if you've seen.
I mean, you didn't jump up, if I'm honest.
It's a butt shot.
Would have been funnier if you hadn't.
I wasn't ready with this, but I've not upgraded to 4K, but I've got my special box edition. I also keep it with screenplay. And if you are a fan of Goodfellas and you haven't read this book, sorry, onto a book, still physical media. It's called On the Run. And it's a book by Greg and Gina Hill, who are the kids of Henry Hill, for which Goodfellas is based on. And it tells their aspect, their point of view of things that their father did. And it goes through quite a few moments that are featured in Goodfellas. And it's really interesting to get their kids' point of view from everything that's happening. And because they are different ages, you get the same situation, but two completely different views of what's happening from each of their opinions, basically, from what the dad does and how it appears to them and things like that. It's a really interesting watch, and it goes further than the movies into witness protection and Henry Hill struggling with not being bad and still doing dodgy things, even though he's in witness protection, setting up various rackets and things. It's a really interesting read. Sorry, that was off topic.
No, not at all.
Still a little bit. Related. Kind of.
Film related.
You know, just before I continue with comments, I had quite a comment the other day from last week's live stream because we drifted into home design and things like that. I wanted to talk about how we keep our collections, where we keep our collections, and things like that. And someone wasn't happy that we went off of physical media and into house design a little bit too much. It quite amused me in a way, but I'd just like to say I thought it was on topic. I don't know what you thought, but hey ho.
I mean, and yet they've not slated me for ever mentioning a yellow chair.
No.
Which has got even less to do with collecting or watching films or anything like that. But yeah, it's missing still out of that corner a lot.
Jeremy did mention, it was a long time for a rental, then a year to buy, from what he recalls as well.
Yeah.
So that was the US side of things. Quite similar. Cam Create Cinema. I've rewatched Anora 6 times since it's released. It just really clicked with me.
Yeah.
Generally, though, I go to the cinema every week to watch something new, so I don't really get a chance to rewatch. That's what I'd like to get to as well. There we go. Batcave's here as well. Good evening, Batcave. Hope you're well.
Hey, Batcave.
Yeah. Great soundtrack on Lost in Translation, after I mentioned that earlier as well. Jeremy, keeping up in the comments. There we go. 38 watching, 16 likes, 22 that need to comply. So if you're watching and not dropped a like, we like likes, and I can get
like
my little.
Who doesn't like a like? Everybody likes a like.
Tokyo 3, Kino Lorba were going to release Lost in Translation, but it was cancelled. I watch it every now and again. It was good. It was an enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it. Really did. It really captured a mood. It captured a mood nicely.
A mood.
Yes. Jeremy, I think if I rewatched less TV series, is I rewatch more films.
I'd rewatch more films.
Dutch Film Buff. Hello, Phil. Glenn. Hello, Phil. Hello, Glenn. And everyone in the chat. Good evening, Dutch Film Buff. Rare Books. I watch films mostly in the evening.
Yeah. I would think I'm the same, really.
Yeah. I watch a lot of kids' films in the daytime because.
Yay. I mean, very similar. I watched The Making of Terrifier 3 this morning.
Oh, right. So
which, I'm sure your kids would really like, actually. Yeah,
loved it.
Somebody sourced it for me.
If I were to rewatch something, it would have to be Deadpool and Guardians of the Galaxy.
From movies?
Yeah. Grey 1951 Media Channel recently gave away a few boxes of DVDs, Blu-rays, including some box sets, and I'm continuing to take a critical look at what's still on the shelves.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I got rid of a big box of DVDs and Blu-rays, and a charity shop picked them up last week. So,
of course they did, yes. You'd arranged a collection, hadn't you?
Yeah, massive bunch. When there was probably a good 60 or so in that lot. So not too bad. Still some more to go, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Morphia. Feel guilty rewatching stuff while having unwatched films sat on the shelf, trying to get through the unwatched so I can get rid of the bad ones.
I know, but sometimes you're just not in the mood for tackling something new, I don't think.
No.
If you're a bit tired or you just, you've got the opportunity, but you don't really know what to watch, sometimes it's nice just to have that familiarity, isn't it? And just give something another go.
It is, absolutely. I'm going to go into that a little bit later because that's part of something else.
Oh, okay.
You can't. Woody, I'll take the last starfighter off your grubby hands. It's an import, Woody. If you've got a region-free player, then just reach out on the socials and
reach out for Phil.
Yeah, Dutch Film Buff. Strange conclusion, Glenn. Screenplays are pretty bad nowadays. CGI and green screen overuse really annoys me, and I think a lot of movies nowadays have bad acting in it.
But if you listen to what I said, I didn't say all old films were bad films, and I didn't say all new films were great films either. Some are good, some are bad. Half of my collection, I would think, are 70s and 80s rather than modern films.
Yeah.
But what I said was not everything kind of holds up. Unfortunately.
Justify yourself, Glenn. Carry on. Justify yourself. Carry on.
No. What I'm saying is the whole nostalgia wave of things that we used to love when we were growing up.
Yeah.
It's not always there. There's some that are always going to be, you know, we were talking about films that you always go back to. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I can just go back to Raiders of the Lost Ark time and time again. I've lost track over the years how many times I've watched it. And it doesn't matter because it is just one of those films that everything is right about it.
Yeah.
It ticks all the boxes that it should have ticked. All the performances are great. It's just one of those films that you can always go back to. Some you go back to and you think, oh, I liked it as a kid. And it can be like a real hard slog to even get halfway through it.
Yeah. Fair. I've just lost track of where I was. Jeremy, with streaming, basically renting for life with no guarantee what I want will be there.
Yeah. That is the problem. That's what we've always said. You know, even though we did a thing a few months ago, didn't we, where we were saying about they'd had to reword all of their systems and whatever, where it's kind of they could no longer put buy or something like that, or own, or like Apple for digital stuff and whatever.
Yes.
They had to change their wording, didn't they? Because all you're basically doing is
leasing.
You're leasing. You are buying kind of an access code almost to get to that title. And you never own it. No, you don't.
No. David McKee, I have officially now stopped collecting movies. Just too much to watch and not enough time. I think I'm getting there with you, David. To be fair, I've picked up a lot less than I ever used to. I think this is. I've not picked up this little in tens of years.
I mean, we've said before, we used to have like literal lists on a piece of paper where it was, and this is out on the 5th, and then this is out on the 12th, and then I've pre-ordered this, and you know, we'd have the list would pretty much be our list of pre-orders, really, that were coming in, and that's just not the case now.
No.
I think I've got maybe 4 pre-orders, but they're over the next 3 months. Just not thick and fast now.
No.
But again, my taste is changing as well as to what I actually want, and I'm a lot more cautious with what I buy now.
Yes, absolutely. My taste changed as well. Something like Novocaine, for example, I'd have lapped it up 10, 15 years ago. Now I'm just meh.
Well, as you know, I rewatched that last night, and I enjoyed it again. I really did. Lynn thought it was okay.
I thought it was okay. I just wasn't as thrilled about it as I perhaps used to be, or would have been a while ago, 15 years ago. So anyway, Dutch Film Buff, and everything looks cheap on digital. Movies looked a lot better back in the 70s and 80s on film.
There's a lot to be said about, you know, you watch something like Taxi Driver or something. It just... There's something quite magical about things that were shot in the 70s. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the actual the locations and things like that, the clothing.
Yeah.
And when they try and kind of duplicate that now, it doesn't look the same. I think there's a lot to be said about digital, but it needs to be the right film. And I get why people still argue that certain things should be shot on 35mm.
Yeah.
Because there's just a visceral kind of thing about it. It just adds an atmosphere somehow.
A warmth.
Yeah. It's sometimes too clinical when it's shot digital. But
and Nicholas Dickens joins us as well. Hello, everyone. Just on my phone so I can say hi. Hi, Nicholas. Morphia. I've crossed to the dark side and started buying some things digitally on Apple.
Yeah.
Ooh. You can get some bargains on there with a lot of out-of-print Blu-rays available cheaply.
You can.
You know what?
It's very true.
I say ooh, but I am 100% with you. I balance between physical and digital now. I don't talk about digital too much because the audience doesn't want to hear it. But when I can pick up 4Ks at $2.99 and $3.99 each, it's sometimes a viable option. And then I don't have to have that thing on the shelf. So if it's not a movie that I love, then I'm okay with it just being digitally. If I love the movie, I'm gonna want the physical copy on the shelf. But if I'm just meh about a film, then more than happy just to have that digital copy sat there.
One of the real beautiful things about digital, I've bought things on Apple and you buy them HD, they sit there, and then at no extra cost, you don't have to lift a finger or anything like that. No. It gets a physical 4K release. Suddenly your download is upgraded to 4K, just like that.
That is nice. They've just recently upgraded Kill Bill as well.
Oh, have they? Have they done that now?
Yeah. Nicholas Dickens, Goodfellas and Casino and Pulp Fiction are big rewatches for me. I'd agree with 2 on 3. If you switched up Casino for Donnie Brasco, I'd be 100% with you.
Yeah, Casino didn't hit for me for some reason, and yet love everybody in it. And it wasn't that it wasn't a well-made film. It doesn't have the impact of Goodfellas for me.
Yeah. AJ Pink, I'll have to get that book, The On the Run with Greg and Gina Hill. Thanks for the recommendation. You are welcome. I think it's a great book. I really enjoyed it, and it's stuck.
Maybe we change this up to a book club.
Could do.
Or we can just carry on with interior design because it went down so well last week. So it's an option.
Nicholas Dickens and Scarface is a big rewatch as well. Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend.
Jim Bob 71. Good evening. Hope you're well.
Good evening.
I'm just flicking through.
Yeah,
AJ Pink, we're here for you both. No exclusively a physical media chat.
There
we go.
Thanks.
There we go. Rohit, The Bronx Tale, I would also recommend. Very underrated movie. There we go. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, Robert De Niro driving a bus. Surely, yeah. Bus driver as opposed to taxi driver. Hey,
yeah. The weekly Apple sales are brilliant. $2.99 films that are 30 quid physically. Great for checking stuff out before you buy it physically. And a lot of stuff on Apple is in 4K
and rentable. You don't just have to buy it; you can rent it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's I'm trying to think what I've bought recently. I've not bought anything for a bit on iTunes. I don't think.
I haven't done for a long time, actually. I'll have a look.
Godzilla Kong, wasn't it? For about, I think that was about 4 quid when I got that. So Morphia, again, talking of stuff holding up, I watched 48 Hours for the first time the other week and thought it was terribly dated. Wasn't funny at all.
You wait till you get to learn another 48 Hours. You'll love that. If you didn't like the first one, I doubt you'll like the second.
Jeremy, with the exception of Phil's live streams, I haven't taken a film recommendation from anyone in real life or any other socials. You all make the best ones, just saying. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, there was a horror film that you watched that I mentioned. Oh, was it Clown? Was that what we were talking about? And
we have talked about Clown, yeah.
And Jeremy watched it, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was Clown. Yeah.
Yes. Nicholas, one thing with physical media, it's better for the environment. Yes, that's right. With your comments, digital, if you buy it, it's just a long-term rental. I'm not sure. Why is it better for the environment with physical?
Yeah, with physical media. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but we will go into it. But yes. I'm just going to skip out and get back to topic a minute before I drop back into the comments again. It was about about keeping the things that we don't particularly watch regularly or don't go back to rewatch, or they just sit on your shelf. One of the things that I've been guilty of that sticks in my head still when I'm looking at clearing things out is the thing that I don't know if it matters really. If I'm not watching the thing, do I still need to keep it? If I think I'm not going to watch that again, it's the rare and out of print titles. Does it matter that it's rare or out of print if you're just not going to watch it? If you're keeping hold of it just for the sake of I might not get it again because it's out of print, is it really worth it? And I've dropped 2 examples on here. One I would rewatch anyway. Dogma, straight up rewatch. Dawn of the Dead, that went out of print, and people went absolutely insane for it. They were paying over this Arrow edition here, and then as time goes on, they all get re-releases anyway.
Yeah,
and it's a thing of, are we keeping movies just because they're rare, just because they're out of print? Regardless, if you're going to watch it, it's part of your collection. You've got it to show off to people. Is this another thing that we're sort of guilty of? if I'm not going to watch it, should I keep it because it's rare? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Have you fell into
Yeah,
that?
I know what you mean, and it's kind of like it's when people go, yeah, but this is worth £70 now. Well, no, it's only worth £70 if you sell it.
Yeah.
It's not actually worth any more than what you paid for it if it's still sat on your shelf. If you sell it, then yes, it's worth whatever it's worth. But if I'm getting worse and worse on these live streams in the respect of I'm just so kind of, if I'm not going to watch it, I'm going to get rid of it. Which, you know, if I was on here kind of like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'd be the one going, oh no, I've just bought 9 different box sets and they're amazing and they're great and they've got postcards, yay, and folded posters, yay, they're brilliant. And now I'm just so if I'm not going to watch it, why do I keep pausing? Oh my god, there we go. If I'm not going to watch it, it shouldn't be on my shelf. It's as simple as that. And like you say, if it's kind of, you've said to me numerous times, Dawn of the Dead. You're not going to. Was it Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead?
Dawn of the possibly both. We're going.
Yeah. I think you've got them both, haven't you?
Yeah, I had them both. Yeah.
Yeah, and you watched neither.
I watched Day of the Dead partially, and I just wasn't bothered. I wasn't bothered. Yeah. There weren't films that captured me when I was younger, and I've watched them as I'm older, and there's been a lot more zombie type movies come out since then, and they just felt terribly dated to me, and I just couldn't be bothered. I was just not interested. It didn't capture me.
Like as in, you prefer the more modern zombie take?
Yeah, because that's moved, because of how things have moved on, and the type of zombies that I've got used to with the modern films. Going back to these blue zombies of Dawn of the Dead and things like that, it just seems incredibly cheap and cheesy now. So it was just like, no, it's not for me. As much of a classic as it is for people that did grow up with it and things like that, I can't get back to that mindset of thinking this was made in the 70s, this was great, because it just didn't sort of suit me. So yeah, it's down to my age when I watched it and what I've been influenced by since. But yeah, it does worry me that I'd been keeping the things just because they are out of print, just because they are more difficult to come by. So like I said, Dogma, I'd rewatch that all day long, but Dawn of the Dead had no business chasing that down or having it as part of my collection just because it was rare, because it doesn't have my interest that much.
Do we think it's legit that Dogma is having a 4K release?
No, I don't think
Kevin Smith put a whole thing out on Marvel, but it was, unfortunately, the first rumblings of it was April Fool's Day, wasn't it?
Yeah. He is touring with it. I think there will possibly be some new work done on it. How it comes out, I do not know. If he's got anything to do with it, I think it'll be quite stacked with extras and commentaries and things like that, because the guy loves to talk. And I think he will treat the fans to something special. It's just a case of who picks it up, what distribution company gets it, and what efforts they want to go to with it. How much money can they make with a special edition of something that's quite limited audience wise now.
Was it Kevin Smith that's got the rights back? Because I noticed on that poster and what have you, Weinstein's name is no longer on the poster or anything like that. So
I'm not 100% sure to it, but
we shall wait and see.
So yeah, I don't think you can use the value of the rare and out of print things for it being any collection. The value to me is for the rewatch, not because of what it's deemed as being worth by someone else.
If you're not going to watch it, it's still just a shelf filler. That's all it is. And like you say, it's all right saying, well, it's worth X amount of money. Well, sell it then, because that's the only way it's worth that amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
That on your shelf doing nothing, it's not worth anything.
Yeah, I'm going to switch this up in a second, but I'm going to jump to comments first. Jim Bob, with his pickups recently, I did my last spend. I got High Anxiety, Casablanca, and the Maltese Falcon. Now the old debit card gets a rest, or credit card, debit, or Sebit. Nicholas Dickens, I've got 3 to 4 pre-orders now, and that's it. I've just got 3. I also got just 3 to 4 action figures on order. Haven't ordered anything for myself for a few months now. Knocked Star Wars merch on the head after 40 plus years. Crikey. It's a lot of years collecting Star Wars. AJ Pink only got 2 pre-orders for the next few months, slowed down massively. Jim Bob did mean debit. I'm trying to think what pre-orders I've got in at the moment, and I think it's Honora and the 2 Friday the 13th movies, I think.
I also have them, but I have tagged on What Lies Beneath.
Oh, nice. Is that an import, or is it getting the UK?
Import. It's Shout Factory, Scream Factory, Ice Cream Factory. One of those. I can't remember which one. But yeah, it's the import. I think it's the week after next, I think.
Oh, nice. There we go. Jeremy says, long live the mustard chair.
The mustard chair is still alive. It's down here.
It's moved.
I might do a live from it at some point, I think.
Yeah.
Because scarily, there is a matching footstool. So I could put my feet up and just chill. And
yeah.
I think I did one from it, didn't I?
Sorry? Yeah.
I think I did a live. Yeah.
Paul Oxley. Good evening, all. Just started getting 4Ks into my collection. What's your go-to 4K film to show off the power of 4K?
To show off the power of 4K.
This is... Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, I mean, the one I showed... I think I've only shown you 2 on 2 separate visits. One was a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
And then the last time you came around was Terminator, but that was purely to show you just what a good job they'd done with Terminator. It was polished. The colors were vibrant. It looked like it was shot last year. It was really good. There's some that really, as we've talked about, things like Point Break, for example, really pointless. But there's some good ones. But I think you need to kind of look at stuff that's shot digitally. Something like Transformers looks quite nice on 4K, to be honest. Anything that's space related looks great on 4K because of how deep the black is.
Sorry, I was going to say the thing with that sort of thing, be careful collecting, Paul. Don't just collect the 4K movies to show off your system. You're going to be the person watching these things. Make sure that the movie's for you rather than movies that will show off your system. Make them good movies, basically. Don't buy rubbish just because they look good on your setup. Just make sure you buy the movies you like.
Yeah, as we've talked about before as well, there was a huge leap between DVD to Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So it was almost... I mean, there's a handful of things that you could say aren't much better than the DVD, even though they're on Blu-ray. But the majority were quite a big step up, really, going on to Blu-ray. So it was fairly safe bet if you bought a Blu-ray, it was going to look better than a DVD.
Yeah.
4K are a lot more kind of hit and miss. One thing I would say about 4K collecting is probably don't get them on release. Wait for a review.
Yeah.
It can sometimes depend on the studio as well. Some studios just try harder and do a better job in general, but there's been a few disappointments. So just be careful. Just take it slowly.
Yeah. Rohit, I'm on a self-imposed moratorium a year into collecting, thinking of trimming my collection. That's what I'm doing at the moment as well, Rohit. Just making sure all the things that remain in the collection are things that are going to get used and do mean something to me as well.
So I did another mini cull a couple of weeks ago, but now I'm down to things that I need to watch or rewatch, and I need to kind of go through them, and they'll be the next bulk that go, I think.
Woody, if it's rare enough to print then and you're not going to watch it, sell it now while you can get some decent money for it.
Yeah.
There we go. The energy used for storage for streaming and the data used, the carbon footprint is far greater than a physical film. You have a disc for 5 or more years, it's pretty much carbon neutral. There we go.
There you go.
Cam Curator,
today's a school day.
Out of print titles don't matter unless the movie itself means something to you. Yeah,
correct.
I agree. I think that's why we see so many popping up on eBay and things like that as people realize that they're keeping things just either for the sake of the value going up or just because they can say, I've got this and it's rare to show off.
I'm just giggling at Jeremy's list.
John Robinson, I would sell Dogma now, as there will be more than likely a 4K release in the not too distant future. I'll keep going with it. I've got to get to my eBay listing very soon, hopefully.
Who's John with there? Who's John with?
Oh, sorry.
Who's Johnson? Who is that? I can't see properly. Kind of looks like Kevin Bacon had a child with Christian Slater. I can't tell who that is. Tell me, John. Who is it? I can't see it on the little picture.
I made this. None of the DVD features were carried over from the Dogman DVD, so I never bothered with it. Now it's out of Weinstein's hands. It will have a re-release soon. Yeah, I've still got the Dogma DVD as well because of the extras. Just flicking through. Dave Simon H. I think Night, Dawn, and Day. Dawn is the most dated looking. Still love the film though. Absolutely. I completely see why people love it. It's just I didn't watch it at the right time. And I'm sure everyone has similar films that people say are such classic movies, but because you haven't seen those in a certain period of time, at a certain age, they just don't settle as well with you.
Yeah, when things have passed you by that don't have the same impact as if you'd watched it when it kind of first came out or much earlier or anything like that.
Yeah. Just come on, Phil, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Slipknot fan. Good evening, Slipknot. Hope you're well.
Hey, Slipknot.
Dutch film buff, in my honest opinion, Dawn of the Dead and Full Cheese Zombie 2 are by far the best zombie flicks ever made. Yeah, I can't argue against it. I completely see why people think that, but for me, I've just become, again, it's the age and time that I watched it. It just doesn't sit as well. A
really random zombie film that I watched a lot of, probably more than any other zombie film, was actually a comedy horror, and was Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Right,
I think I've watched that one more than I've watched many other zombie movies, to be honest.
Very strange. I'm going to flip this around in a second. Just one more on this, and then I'll get back to topic. Jake E, first time watching. What do you think to the new James Bond 4K Steelbook set? I'll start this off, Jake. I've not looked at it. I'm not interested at all. I'm not a Bond fan in the slightest. So this is Glenn's territory. Glenn is a Bond fan. So I'll let you ramble.
I actually, as you know, I'm not a Steelbook fan, but I have to say I like the posters that they used of Connery. I like that. I do probably prefer the standard release. I like the fact they've used that kind of Japanese poster artwork. I really like that. But yeah, for Steelbooks, like I say, I think they've picked quite interesting pictures of Connery. I think it's quite nice to not go with the bog standard, been released a million times over. But as you will, if you continue to watch these, which please do, but you might not. They're biscuit tins. I can't stand Steelbooks in the slightest. They're horrible, flexy, horrible things. Yes.
Biscuit tins. We've got some other 4K recommendations. I've lost them. Nicholas Dickens, Fast and Furious, look good. Batman Begins and Alien are good. A brilliant one is Jaws. Jeremy Carr, tongue-in-cheek, I think, a little bit here.
Yeah, I know. There's a couple in there that shouldn't be in there.
From Beyond They Live, Howard the Duck, Trance's Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction will definitely show really well.
And when I say a couple that shouldn't be in there, Reservoir Dogs and From Beyond, what are you on about? No, Howard the Duck and Trances.
Do not get Aliens, Terminator 2 or True Lies on 4K. I'll have to disagree with you on that, Jeremy, for True Lies. I'd rather have
it. Looks okay.
Honestly, I've not watched it yet, but I'd rather have that than the DVD copy that I still have.
Right. Okay.
There's no in between, is there? It's either DVD or you get the 4K restoration.
Did it? I'm sorry to be an idiot on this. Did it not get a Blu-ray release then?
No, not a proper one. I think he did from Spain. I think there's some semi bootleg thing that they had in Amazon Spain or something.
Oh, that's quite annoying, isn't it?
Yeah,
I thought it ended up with a Blu-ray release as well of the newest one.
John Robinson, it is Kevin Bacon.
It is Kevin Bacon. Yeah. It is Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
but it's not Kevin Bacon's child.
No. So anyway, on this topic again about the finding value in the physical media collection, the place where I find the best value from my collection is on the Rewatch, and I just don't think you can beat having in your physical media collection. What's that?
It got a Blu-ray release.
Oh, it does now. Yeah.
Last October.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was around the same time as the 4K, to be honest.
Okay. You threw me off my stride then as well.
Sorry, I apologise. I was just I thought it had.
Yeah, on the flip side of whinging about collecting and things like that, the thing that I don't think you can actually beat with your physical media collection is having those important films that are so familiar to you and you just find comfort in watching them. You know, when you're having a crappy day and you think, I just want to chill out, and you go to your collection and you got a bunch of stuff that it's just the comfort of the familiarity and keeping those things in your collection that you know just spark joy for you. It could be whatever film you want. I don't care what movie it is, but in your collection you have to have those comfort films. Do you have those sort of films as well in your? Do you think that's an important reason for keeping these things physically?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's where we get value from with them.
Yeah, but like, you know, I threw a few out there earlier where I said like Scream, Grosse Point Blank, Die Hard, Predator.
Yep.
What else would be in there? Evil Dead 2. This is where I need to be over at my shelves, kind of going through stuff. But yeah, like I said, Raiders of the Lost Ark, for example. Well, Raiders, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade, to be honest. But let's face it, they're the only 3 Indiana Jones films that matter.
There's more.
Should have just left it. The Last Crusade. It's the last one. The Last Crusade.
Right.
Just leave it there.
Having them in my collection, there's a couple of films here that, you know, if I was in a real funk, a real bad mood, going back to something like Swingers, it really just gave me a lift. It gave me someone relatable and things like that. And I don't think you can beat that with a physical collection, having those movies that can lift your mood. That's where
you shouldn't ever feel down, Phil, because your money, baby. Your money.
Very good.
Thanks.
Yeah, and the importance of physical media and keeping the right movies for you, I think it's pretty key. I think it's nonsense keeping the movies that I'm not interested in, but having those movies that can improve my mood and give me that comfort, that's where my value is for the physical media collection, those comfort movies and things like that. It's valuable to me.
Getting quite emotional.
Yes.
Stop it. No, it's like I said to you months ago, you know, it's when we're talking about how do you decide what you keep and things, it's almost like if your house was on fire and they said you can run in there and you can grab 20 films, you've got 5 seconds, go and, you know, what are those things that you would grab? What are those films that you would go, I can't live without them, I need them in my collection?
Yeah.
And they're realistically the ones that we should have on a shelf. Yeah. Everything else is just kind of, you know, expendable.
That's it. That's it. I need to see which movies in my collection give me that value, that give me that comfort, and weed out the rest that I can't do it. I mean, the other comfort movies, I mean, there's things like Scream, obviously we mentioned Goodfellas, things like Kill Bill, where I've got Boogie Nights, even The Thing, and this Grosse Point Blank, Leon, The Professional, Heat, and those sort of movies over the others that I mentioned earlier, which were part of my collection. Those don't spark any kind of joy or comfort or anything like that. It's just nonsense movies. I don't want nonsense movies in my collection anymore.
I can safely say something like A Good Day to Die Hard, I will probably never watch in the rest of my life.
No.
I've watched it. It was just... The longer those films went on, the less they were kind of Die Hard. They were just generic action films, really.
Absolutely.
Die Hard, you know, again with that, Die Hard with a Vengeance was the last one for me.
Was it? Yeah, I'd probably have to agree, to be honest. In relation to the True Lies, the 4K came out first, and then a few months later, they released the Blu-ray. Waited till it was on Blue, as it didn't have a 4K player.
I think it was April for 4K. Did I say they came out at the same time then?
I'm not sure, but
I think it was last April for the 4K. I knew it had definitely come out, and I say it was last October for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, for Nicholas Dickens, great comfort movies are Castaway, Forrest Gump, and Apollo 13. Great Tom Hanks films. I wouldn't go with any of those myself, but sorry, I just needed to say.
I just sat there politely and didn't say anything.
They're not comfort movies for me. They are for someone else.
If I was watching any, and I do need to kind of give it a rewatch because I remember liking it at the time, I've just not watched it again for some reason. It's Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
I think it's quite a sprawling undertaking by Zemeckis, and it was Bob Zemeckis, wasn't it? Yeah. And a lot went into it, and I liked, that it kind of goes through various different historical things, and I do need to give it another look. But I have to say, it's not one that I keep dipping back into. But Apollo 13, it wasn't my bag for whatever reason. I quite like space films, but it didn't hit the mark for me.
Yeah, I think for me, it was just lacked atmosphere. Here all week. Thank you.
Have you got one of them things like, when you put your thumbs up and you've got your rain cloud and what have you? Can you get one that's a tumbleweed?
No.
For next week?
I can probably try and get a video for it though. And
please do. Do a slide. Do a slide. You love a slide.
Jake E. Does Phil collect steelbooks? Jake,
there was a Swingers steelbook and something else on that picture.
They weren't mine. They were just stock images on there.
Okay.
I've not got Swingers on a steelbook. That is, I don't think. No, that's Samurai only. No, I used to, but then it became quite tiresome chasing them and seeing re-releases and things like that. And I thought I had the rare title, and then there'd be another re-release that was better somehow. And I just lost all passion for collecting steelbooks, and I try to actively avoid them now, to be honest. And we occasionally mock them on the live stream and call them biscuit tins. But yeah, I did stop
occasionally.
If you go through, Jake, if you go through my videos, I did do a video on my steelbook collection and exactly why I stopped collecting them as well. So it might be worth a look, so you can find out why the hell I stopped collecting steelbooks.
Why the hell? Why the hell did you? Why the hell? I might start. I'm going to start collecting them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other comforts for Nicholas: Highlander, Terminator 1 and 2, Jaws, OT Star Wars, Flash Gordon, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Great comforts. That's fair. That's a better list, I think. You're improving.
Jesus, how judgmental. Are you allowed to say Jesus on Easter Sunday? I don't know if you are. Sorry.
Joe Snowden is with us as well. Good evening, Joe. Hope you're well.
Hey, Joe.
Late, but here regardless.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Nicholas Dickens. It's got lots. As are Aliens, and even Alien 3.
All right, Nicholas. You like a lot of films. Move on. Good grief.
Woody. Go-to movies that I can watch anytime: Arrival, Interstellar, Kingpin, Frighteners, Super Troopers, Truman Show, Shawshank, Road Trip, Zombieland, Dark Shadows, Martian, and Anchorman. That's a nice list. It's quite an eclectic mix as well. Yeah.
Dark Shadows got slated. I like my Tim Burton stuff. Dark Shadows got slated, but there's something about it where I keep going back to it as well.
Super Troopers. I slowed down on that list because I was just thinking of Super Troopers quotes in my head as well. It's like, right.
I read along there and went Starship Troopers rather than Super Troopers.
Meow, then you'd be wrong. Whoever's listening to that.
Yeah.
Nicholas Dickens. I also love Back to the Future trilogy and Lord of the Rings for other comfort watchers. Back to the Future.
There's a lot of comfort in Nicholas's life.
Yeah, I do admit Back to the Future is probably one for me as well, and it's the riff of the musical riff can just give me goosebumps just thinking about the movie and the power of it. I I genuinely get more joy from watching old VHS these days. I pop them on in the background as I sculpt and animate. It's very comforting. So I see that. I've been to the video shop quite a few times and they have stuff on in the background and I'm always drawn to it. Always.
And you always feel like you need to start sculpting as well, don't you?
No.
It's crazy. It has that effect on everybody.
No. And anyway, another thing with having a large collection that some people do find value in as well, it gives them that sort of talking point as well. It helps bring them to a community. It gives them a talking point to have a decent sized collection. Now, I've kind of lost that. I want to drive back to talking just about the movies rather than what I have. But I think for some people, the value in having a collection gives them that social aspect for some people, for some things as well. It's not something that I particularly do anymore. Because no one. I'm trying to think how to word this because
but it is almost like it's a club, isn't it? It's a membership. It's it's an inclusive thing.
Yeah. And I think it does give a lot of value for people to feel included in something like that. Say, I'll put the picture of the collection on there. This is why I'm struggling for words, as though people come around to the house and we go through the collection and talk about things, but that's just not reality. I don't have friends that come around anymore. So it's never part of the conversation at home. People I work with aren't interested. So it's not a thing for me, but for some people, having that large collection gives them the membership to some of these communities.
On that subject, can we wind this up? Because I've got 20 of my favourite people coming around to go through my collection with me.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Some things are more important than this. Okay.
I think the value that other people find in the collection versus digital as well is that they can't change or take away these shelves of movies. So a lot of people find the value in having the shelves full of movies, because then the streamers can't take it away and they can't make changes. I think if it's a favourite film, I'll always have it on the shelf anyway. But I'm less worried about the changes that are made to some films over time. A lot of them it's not bothered me anymore. I don't know.
It angers me to a degree that we've become so woke as a society. We feel the need to kind of, we need to adjust that because we might upset somebody.
Yeah,
that aspect infuriates me. I just think grow up. Everybody needs to just grow up and get over things like that. Yeah. But does it bother me massively? No. If it was like my favorite film and they suddenly butchered it and they cut out lines here, there, and everywhere, and there was a scene that you can never see again because they'd taken it out, then I probably would be infuriated by it.
I don't think there's
I think at the minute it's kind of little tweaks here and there, but is it the start of a slippery slope? That's the problem, I think.
I don't think there's anything that's particularly come up that's bothered me personally that I've seen listed anywhere. I know there's big changes to Crocodile Dundee that I read about recently. And I don't feel bothered by that in the slightest, but then it's not a movie that I want to go back to and rewatch as much as I did when I was younger. I'm just not interested anymore.
Again, I just think if you took everything out of every film that might upset somebody, there'd be no films out there anymore.
No, true.
There really wouldn't. We need to just stop. Everybody's always going to have an issue with something. From these lives and your videos, you'll get comments that are kind of praising what you've done and praising your editing and praising your presentation and all this kind of stuff. And then you'll get somebody who absolutely despises it and rips it apart.
Yeah.
But then, yes, I'm talking to that person. You continue watching week after week. But you're not going to please everybody all the time. But like I say, they need to leave stuff alone. Stop pandering to the minority and listen to the masses.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping On Nicholas Dickens, I do like Dark Shadows, and another big rewatch is Sleepy Hollow. Yes, Glenn, we need lots of comfort.
I have Sleepy Hollow up there. That's I've got Tim Burton is about there-ish, along there-ish, I think, somewhere.
Woody, Dark Shadows. For me, it's the humour, pace of the movie, and Depp's character.
Yeah. And it's Depp's character. It's quite a weird mishmash of things. It may or may not be evergreen to a degree as well, but it's entertaining.
Yeah. Charlie 85. My comfort movies are Young Guns 2, Splitting Hairs, 12 Monkeys, and So I Married an Axe Murderer. So I Married an Axe Murderer used to be a frequent rewatch for me. I watched it so many times. And Raz Sucks. Are you guys looking forward to World Alien Day, 26th of April? I wasn't aware of World Alien Day myself.
I wasn't aware of World Alien Day. Are they coming down? Are we finally getting invaded?
I'm wondering if World Alien Day, do you think they'll be doing a promo trailer for the new Alien Earth Disney Plus thing? Or are we getting bits and bobs like that?
There's been a couple of bits, but a couple of weeks ago there was a new Alien Earth teaser.
I mean, a proper thing.
Maybe we'll get more Superman things because he's an alien.
Yeah, true.
Might happen. Who knows?
Simon, if steelbooks or digibooks are a couple of quid more, they're worth it occasionally, but many are fairly overpriced, making the decision easy. They never used to be overpriced, but they are.
And again, it's probably more so with media books and steelbooks. They're limited edition, and then you get a re-release like a year down the line.
Yeah,
happens with steelbooks all the time. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Nicholas Dickens always looks forward to Alien Day. What happens on Alien Day?
Yeah, I know. What? How do we make a cake on Alien Day? What do we do? Do we give people little aliens? Is that what we're supposed to do? Little chocolate aliens?
I'm not sure.
Because obviously Easter, the resurrection of Christ, we give chocolate eggs by a rabbit.
Yeah.
Never got that. I'm sure there's historical reason, but there we go.
Dave Simon, my favourite odd censorship was Disney Plus adding hair to Daryl Hannah's bare bottom in Splash. I tried to find the screenshot for that, and then I thought, no, I'll not put it on the live stream.
You see, I read that immediately as they put hair on her bum, rather than her hair grew down from her head over her bum. I thought they'd given her a hairy bum. That'd have been harsh.
Yeah. Jeremy Carr, we went from do we need these to comfort real quick. We did. Sorry, Jeremy. I was trying to find a bit of balance, and it's perhaps not gone well. I should just moan all the time. But there is a comfort to some movies. It's just a matter of I don't need comfort in 1,000 movies. I could have comfort in 50 instead.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Joe Snowden. I'm fairly certain those Tarantino 4Ks are now on the website too, if it hasn't already been discussed. I haven't had a look recently, actually, but...
I saw they were on Blu-ray.com, so they were kind of advertising the fact that they're out there, but I hadn't seen whether they were on actual HMV to purchase. I'll have a quick look.
I made this. Empire Records is my biggest comfort film. I'm aware it's not the greatest film, but if I ever feel crap or need to chill out, it's my go-to movie. Other than that, Ghostbusters, Jaws, and Fargo. I'm with you on Empire Records. That's on my top shelf also. That's on there.
I was just... they're on Blu-ray.com, but they're still not available to buy on HMV website. So, like I say, they're kind of... It's shown that they're out there and they can be purchased, but just not actually available anywhere.
Yeah.
I was sorting through me CDs earlier, and I came across the Empire Records CD soundtrack.
Oh, you got it there. The Sugar High.
Empire Records.
Empire Records. Did it have any Rex Manning on there?
Did what?
Did it have any Rex Manning on there?
Oh, no, I don't think it did.
Oh.
Yeah, Jim Blossom's Cranberries, Edwin Collins, the Martinis, Toad the Wet Sprocket. I mean, when was the last time anybody said Toad the Wet Sprocket out loud? Ready to go. Yeah, lost Evan Dando. Oh, it's going to get listened to tomorrow.
Here we go. Big Jace. Alien Day is a celebration of the Alien franchise. It is typically held on April 26th. The date is significant because it's the anniversary of LV-426. There we go. That's the reason why.
There we go.
And that's what it is. I wonder if we will get a trailer then.
Maybe we'll get Fede Alvarez announcing a follow-up to Romulus.
It's possible. I'm not sure what this relates to. Who likes Phil's wallpaper? This wallpaper.
Well, we're talking about interior design, aren't we? We need to get back on it.
Yeah. Jeremy Carr also loves Empire Records as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. That was released on VHS when I worked in Blockbuster, I believe, or around that time.
You know the green you've painted?
Yeah.
Behind you? Yeah, I think you should have gone for Elephant's Breath.
No.
It's very popular. It's very popular at the moment.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Jeremy Carr, Rex Manning Day just passed on April 8th. There we go.
Damn it.
But, yeah. Anyway, without any further nonsense, we're going to... I want to know what you picked up. Moving the topic on, Glenn. Have you made any pickups this week?
Have I made any pickups this week? Yes. Ooh. Next topic.
Oh, don't you want to?
No, I showed you that I was I've listed for sale my Matrix trilogy 4K and Matrix Resurrections. And when I went to I did send you the screenshot, didn't I? When I went to see what Amazon was selling it for, somebody in the review underneath put, if it was the ultimate Matrix set, it would just have the first movie.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I felt about it. So I have, seen as the trilogy box set is new and sealed, I've left it sealed. And I've just purchased the Matrix 4K on its own, the first one, the only one that matters.
Yes.
So that's going. And Old Boy. I bought Old Boy.
The original, I hope.
Yeah. Because I did have the Vengeance trilogy. And I thought to myself, I'm never going to watch Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance or Lady Vengeance again. I watched them once. They're good films. Would I go back to them? No. If I was going back to any of them, I'd go back to Old Boy and rewatch Old Boy because I think it's the pinnacle of those movies. So they're my purchases that are kind of to condense down my collection a little bit more, really, and just have the quality out of them.
Well, while we're on your purchases as well, Paul Oxley, who is the figure in the corner of your room, Glenn?
The figure in the corner of my room is actually Kurt Cobain. I picked it up from the toy fair in Birmingham last week and didn't tell you about it.
No,
because I know you go, what you bought a Kurt Cobain figure for? But because I love Nirvana, so yes, I have a Kurt Cobain figure up there.
Fair.
Yeah.
Secrets of Monkey Island. I like the remake of Old Boy. Must be alone with this. I've not watched it.
No, I've not watched it. I didn't feel. I think it's difficult to not go into spoiler territory here, isn't it? Really, but Old Boy has such a kind of an impact on its first viewing. I think once you know what's happening and that's out the way, I think it's okay to continue to kind of watch the original because you can appreciate everything else that's made. It was something that's so good, it didn't need a remake. And let's face it wasn't a remake for kind of the sake of remaking it and making it better or improving kind of effects or anything like that. It was literally, it's a Korean movie, we're doing an American remake. And for me, it was just unnecessary because it stands, and so many Americans in English and so many people around the world appreciate it for what it is in the first place. I don't think it needed a remake.
Fair.
So that's a very long way round of saying I've not watched it either. I kind of felt like it was unnecessary.
Big J, so I've ordered Bumblebee 3D that should arrive next week, and a friend is picking up a Scream with double pack for me tomorrow. Also, Rocketman picked up for £1. Fair. Cam Create Cinema, no pickups this week from me, but I did watch Sinners at the cinema, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
I think we're going next week, are we?
We are, yeah. Oh, we went this week. What did we go and see this week?
I'm not onto that section yet, Glenn.
Okay. I don't know what your flipping slides are, so I'm just
talk about what my pickups
you
are.
bring me on here to talk, so I talk.
Too bloody much sometimes.
Exactly.
I don't want monologues.
I have purchased something else, but it's not arrived. I knew I had bought something else.
All right, okay.
Okay, I bought All Hallows Eve because I love Art the Clown far too much. So
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Go on then. What you purchased?
I picked up physical stuff. But I went with we went gaming this week, so we got God of War 3 remastered.
Okay. Nice.
And I finally got, I know I've probably talked about this before, which I shouldn't. I know it's a physical media movie live stream, but this is physical media, so it's just gaming. And I finally got Ghost of Tsushima as well, that I've been waiting on. There was a decent offer came up, so I jumped on those. I also got something else, which I will show in a moment. I went bootleg. So I'll show that, and I'll link it to what we watched, because I'm half watching that as well. But first, I see a question in the comment section, so I'm going to jump back to that because it's off topic. So we'll have a look what it is. I'm not ready yet, so hopefully it's okay. It's from Joe, so we should be all right. What kind of physical media content do you like to watch on your YouTube? I'm not really into the collection updates, but I enjoy the discussions about the hobby, etc. What do you go for, Glenn? I'll let you go first.
To be honest with you, I watch the person's videos I watch the most at the minute are Froggy Flips, who is a toy collector.
Yeah.
Based in the States. I like his presentation. He seems like a really nice guy. He's very generous. Everybody he encounters seems to love him as well, because he's a nice guy. He's just a nice, easy watch. But you know, I've started going back to a lot of toy fairs. I've been to 2 this year already, and it's interesting watching his videos and seeing figure ranges that I've either never seen before because I've just not paid attention to, or they're perhaps American releases that we didn't get over here, or there's a lot of kind of like knockoff toys that are like highly collectible now. And it's interesting watching his videos and then going to toy fairs and seeing these toy ranges and recognizing them now, rather than just scanning over them. I go, oh, yeah, you know, Froggy collects them. So I do watch a lot of Froggy Flips. I like him. He's nice.
In relation to the physical media content, there's not actually many that I watch particularly. I will sit in on movie discussions and watch them, but there's no one in particular I kind of land on. I try not to watch the physical media content because in making content, sometimes I can try and compare myself a bit, or then try and emulate the videos that they're doing. And I don't want to do those kind of videos. I want to do a different sort of video, and I don't want to be influenced in the way that I make my videos, if that makes sense. I don't want to do that sort of thing. I don't particularly watch the videos of pickups or anything like that, because I just don't. I want to chat about the movie. I want to do that. I might flick through an odd haul video or shopping video, but it's not the sort of YouTube content that I gravitate towards, and I don't want to be influenced by that in making mine that are around physical media. I want to find my own path around that. I want to do some different sorts of videos as well that link into our hobbies, but not directly include the hobbies.
Yeah. I'm not just saying this because you're you and what have you, but I just think your videos are just a damn sight better than everybody else's. You make the effort. You do really good editing. You do a range of there's so many people out there that are, and you know, if they're watching, I'm really sorry, but it's the whole. Well, it is the whole. Look what I've got this week, unboxing, and it's the same thing, and there's so many people that just do the same single shot for kind of. Granted, this is a live stream, so we're not obviously editing it, and we're not flicking around here, there, and everywhere, but. You know, there's some people that just sit there and it's just one static shot for like 20 minutes and I lose interest in it. To be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of kind of physical media collecting things. I watch more film related things in the respect of actors and directors being interviewed and behind the scenes documentaries and things like that. That's kind of more what I watch on YouTube.
I do appreciate what some of the guys do with their videos and things like that when it comes to pickups and things like that, but I don't need a 20-minute video on one pickup or anything like that, which it feels like I'm stretching content. It feels like I'm not moving on quickly enough. But that's just me. If I'm going to pick up a movie, I'm influenced in other ways in picking up a movie rather than watching a YouTuber go through why they think you should pick up a certain thing.
Yeah, I think there's clearly a market for it because there's plenty of people that do watch it and what have you. It's just personally, it's not my bag. I've just found a load of stickers and stuff that I didn't know I got.
Just jump into comments before I get to my other pickups as well. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Was that Hell on Shirts? I think it was. Yeah.
Joe Snowden, Ghost of Tsushima is fantastic. Can't wait for the sequel this year. I think it's going to take me a whole year to play through it, to be honest. Jerry Carr, Ghost of Tsushima looks sick. Live stream a playthrough. If I could get enough time and figure out how to do a playthrough, I potentially would. Charlie85, this week I bought Dazed and Confused 4K, Slacker on Criterion, and Pender's Fin on BFI Blu-ray.
I'm not aware of that title.
Secret of Monkey Island, hands up, I collect vintage toys as well. There I go.
I saw a vintage toy that was totally my bag. It was a small wind-up tin Frankenstein. It was 1966. It was lovely, and I thought that's the kind of thing that I would quite like to collect. And I asked how much it was, and he was asking £275 for it. Funnily enough, that is not in my collection.
Dave Simon got the UK Blu-ray of Fern Gully. Currently at HMV 50% off sale. New 101 films messed up the subtitles, but roughly 8.5 seconds out of sync. Has to be a record. Joe Snowden often watch American flea market thrifting videos. So much cooler than the crap UK car boot.
They are. They pick up such quality stuff. I was watching one, and Lynn asked me if it was actually set up. Because all of the things that the guy was picking up were like real good quality things. And we get, you know, you go to a car boot over here, which is, you know, a flea market in the States, car boot sale, trunk, whatever. And it's crap. It's things that people should be taking to the tip and throwing away at the recycling centre. But instead, they put it out and try and get 10p for it.
Yeah.
It's rubbish.
Big Jace, I watch Phil, Kermit's Ghost, Mid-Level Media, Last Movie Standing, and Films at Home.
Ooh, you watch Brian? What do you watch Brian for?
You know what? Brian's one of the few. I appreciate the efforts that Brian goes to with his, you know, the comparison videos and things like that really go into it. It goes a bit too in-depth for me. But yeah, I appreciate that Brian makes some real efforts with his videos. And I think it shows in his viewing figures and subscribers as well, because he's really grown quick. And I think he exceeds other guys that have been doing this for a long, long time. So,
and
yeah.
Just the quality of his image, not his image type of thing, but the actual videos, they're just well made. They look really tidy and sharp and stuff. And yeah, he's a mediocre guy. I don't mind him. He's all right. He's fine. He's acceptable.
Yeah.
He'll do. Yeah.
But yeah, I sometimes dip in and out of the other ones as well, but I don't want to be heavily influenced by them for what videos I make. So I need to find my own path, and I want to switch up my content a little bit more and get a bit better. So
I think you have found your own path very early on, though. I think you looked at things and you knew well, I like that, I don't like that, so this is the avenue I'm going down. And I think you've evolved and you've developed, but I think it's refreshing.
Nicholas, I watched Gary Stevens, an ex-City trader who's trying to make the world a better place. Or I watched overweight, mostly Americans with huge beards complaining about woke or movies or toys.
Yeah.
I'm not commenting on that. But Woody, I watched pressure washing videos on YouTube, amongst other things.
There's a guy in the States that I watched who has a gardening business, and he goes to like plots that are really overgrown, and for free for like the YouTube video, he then
as well.
Sidewalks appear and what have you as he's digging away and things, and there's something quite therapeutic about it. I don't know, it's weird.
Right, I'm just going to blast through these because I want to get onto what we watched as well, because we went to the cinema, and I went to the cinema. Big Jace, some of the blue tubers don't have a clue about films or in it for scalping, so I don't watch those ones. Jolly85, there's a man called Movie Collector on YouTube who is very interesting. He also collects old 16mm film reels and has his own cinema setup.
Very cool.
Comment of the evening, Jeremy. Phil and Glenn are the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep them down.
Nothing's ever going to keep them down. They're the best around. Will you get charged for that now? I've sung it. Although I sung it that badly, it probably
I was going to say it just needs to be in tune for it to be picked up. But apologies if I'm skipping any comments. I'm just going to just jump on to what we watched, if I can find the thing. Because this ties into the pickups as well, because I went bootleg, and I have been watching this week as well, and I went with the Pit. I had to get a bootleg because there's just no UK screenings over here. But yeah, you know that me and my wife blasted through a repeat view of ER, and this was coming up, so it's like I need to get onto that TV show. So I had to go bootleg to be able to get it, and we started watching that and quite enjoying it so far. I think we're about 6 episodes into the 15, so that was my other pickup. And if you like the hospital dramas, it's solid. So it's got a bit of an ER flavour, but it's also feels like a different beast as well. And that's what I've been watching. But I did visit the cinema twice. I did do a thumbnail, and I don't think I've put it on my slides, so I can't see it.
Oh, what a fool! I'm
gonna start with my viewing because I went to see Minecraft, and I'll tell you something about Minecraft. I'm not a Minecraft fan. I went to take the kids. I wasn't expecting anything. I was expecting to hate it, to be fair, but I'll tell you what, I completely see why kids are loving it. I really do. Jack Black's just full of energy and doing his thing. Jason Momoa's the butt of jokes and kind of gets a couple of funny jokes in there. And I smiled a few times and I actually laughed out at one point as well. A joke that echoes back to the Zucker brothers style of comedy with like the airplane and Top Secrets, and it just sat in there, and it was okay. My kids have real good fun with it. Adults managed it through without hating on it. It was fine. I don't get the complete bashing of it. It's not a movie that I'd pick to see or sit and enjoy on my own, but if you're taking kids along, don't worry about it being utter garbage, because it's manageable. It's mediocre and manageable.
What a rave review. What more do you need, people? Get out there now and go see it. It's mediocre and manageable. What we all need. Has it been slated though? I don't know if it has.
I've seen a couple of people slating it.
Yeah. The most negative kind of things I've seen is how people are reacting to it in actual screenings and throwing the popcorn around and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, that's the kind of thing that would have me up in the clock tower with a rifle.
Yeah,
people were doing that. It'd drive me mad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't bad at all, and it was actually quite funny for adults. It's not an adult movie, but it was quite funny for adults. So I appreciate what they did. If there was a sequel to come out, I wouldn't not take the kids and avoid it. I'd happily take them because they loved it. They loved it, and it's a film for them. It's not a film for me. So yeah, but Minecraft is fine. But then
Then
we went. I'm not going to ask you what you watched because I'm going to carry on doing this. We went to the cinema to watch Drop, and I don't know what you want to add about it, but I find it to be an adequate thriller, which it's not breaking the mold. It was just a pretty well-made thriller that seemed longer than it was.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that, having seen it, if I hadn't have seen it at the cinema and I'd just seen it streaming, I'd have been fine with that.
Yeah,
that was enough.
Yeah.
It was, it was a nice enough watch. It was just, it wasn't. Yeah. I think that says it all of our review, really.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was okay. Let's leave it at that. It was okay.
Don't expect anything groundbreaking, but it was a well-made thriller that was pretty. I can't say it was average because there are worse things out there. But
can I just say at this point, I think we need to move on. I think we've not got anything to say about it, really. It was okay. I think if you're one of those crazy 4K steelbook collectors and what have you, and you want to pre-order it, go for your life. Do it. It's but it's I've paused again. It was okay.
Some mediocre review again. So tune in for next week's rave review of.
Can I just say as well, along with those stickers, I've found some postcards from Hell on Shirts as well, and I'm going to show them only because
everyone gives postcards.
They're very cool though. I love that. You've got a 2-1. There's a Halloween one.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
that's very nice. That's very nice. But more than anything, Phil, you'll appreciate this next one. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, nice. Are you going to keep them in the DVD cases?
No, I'm going to put them back in the drawer where I just found them.
Right. And pay attention to me and tell me what the hell you watched.
I watched. What have I watched? I've watched. We're kind of we're in an interim bit between TV shows, to be honest. We watched a couple of films. Like I say, I rewatched Novocaine last night and enjoyed it. Lynn watched it, thought it was okay as well. We watched the first episode of The Studio, and I know I loved the first episode. Absolutely loved it. If you love things like The Player and stuff like, you're going to adore it. It's. I've said before, I like anything that's about the making of movies and behind the scenes of movies and things like that. When we've talked about like Babylon and all this kind of stuff, and it's another one of them. But it's going to be funny. The cameos are going to be great. I loved the first episode.
Yeah.
The trouble is now it's a weekly thing. There's 10 episodes. It's only up to episode 5, so I'm going to let them stack up, and then I'm going to binge watch them like crazy. So in the interim period of that, we just clicked on what's it called? Yeah, The Residents on Netflix, which is it's a bit like Knives Out kind of thing. It's quite quick script. It's about a murder at the White House, and the detective that comes in to try and like sort it out and what have you. It's quite entertaining. It's very well acted, I have to say, and the script's quite witty and moment to moment. So that'll do me for a bit. And like I say, this morning I watched Art Attack, which was the Terrifier documentary that was on the Umbrella release, and somebody's sourced it for me and managed to get me a copy. So I watched that, which was very good. And I wish you'd watch the Terrifier movies. And I know it's a whole time thing and what have you. It's just, I think you'd appreciate it from a where it's not CGI and stuff. It's actual. I can't think of the terminology. Like the thing, practical effects. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just all practical effects, and it's just all 3 movies are made by people that love horror movies and were brought up on horror movies, and you can feel that in the film. But then when you watch the documentary as well, it's kind of they're all loving life because they're all doing exactly what they love and they're involved in it all, and it's great.
It's going to jump to comments. Joe Snowden, I like those comments as well. Love your style of content, Phil. Nice mix of easy to digest videos and longer form live streams. No complaints here. Thank you, Joe. I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Good to hear.
Oh,
look here, your heart.
Oh no. Big Jace, The Pit. Is that Brad's life story? Not heard of it. No, it's a hospital drama in Pittsburgh.
With Noah, what's his face that was in ER.
Yeah. Woody, I've watched a few things this week. Can't remember any of them except a movie called Revenge, starring Matilda Lutz. If you like movies with an arbitrary amount of blood spatter, then this is for you.
Well, that was Coralie Forget's first movie before she did The Substance. Yeah,
I wasn't that thrilled with Revenge, to be honest, when I watched that either.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was a lot more comic book than I was anticipating it was going to be, to be honest. But I really enjoyed it.
Napang Films. Good evening, Napang Films. Hope you're well. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too, as well.
I'll tell you what else I watched this week. I allowed my 10-year-old to watch Mission Impossible, so I wasn't sure which one to start with, and I ended up going with Mission Impossible 3 because I thought, nice introduction to the Mission Impossible franchise. Let's get something where his wife has a gun to her head and gets shot within the opening 3 minutes. I thought it's a good way to go for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's quite an intense opening scene, isn't it, really?
It's really intense opening scene, yeah. I went with that purely because it felt like the jumping off point for all the newer Mission Impossible films.
Yeah.
And you can sort of discount. I think 1 would have been too heavy for him. I think 2 is quite nonsensical and kind of sits on its own in a way. But 3 ties into the greater scope of the rest of the Mission Impossible films. So, yeah,
I said to you, I was surprised you didn't start with the second one because I think that's probably the most accessible, kiddie-friendly, bright, silly, over-the-top kind of Mission Impossible, really.
Yeah.
We're still finding its feet at that point, wasn't it? 3, like you say, was the jumping-off point. Where we are now, I think, is because of 3 onwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Big Jace just put a nice one to watch over Easter, Phil, as it was about the Easter Bunny's foot. It was. Yeah. Very good. I didn't think of that.
See what he did.
Joe Snowden had a limited time this week, managed to rewatch Django Unchained and The Last Picture Show. Great stuff. Oh, just Paul Oxley. I watched Love Hurts with Ki Hugh Kwan this morning. Great actor, terrible film. That's bad to hear. I was looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, and yet this is what troubles me with you. That trailer looked awful, and you went, "Yeah, I think that looks like my kind of thing."
Yeah.
We've still got to find this film that you're going to go, "Oh, I absolutely love that." Having said that, because Paul absolutely hated that, you might love it.
Possible. I'm putting my hopes on Sinners now.
Yeah, but you don't get swept up in the hype. No. Keep it controlled, Phil.
Dave Simon, after Mission Impossible 3, next film for your 10-year-old is Watership Down.
No, Phil is going to get into the Terrifier franchise, and he's going to sit down with the kids and watch it, aren't you?
Yeah.
That or Martyrs, that's a good one.
I was thinking Frontiers.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Because that's a little bit sillier than the first one. You'd be fine with that as well. It's a good laugh.
Fair.
Yeah.
There's a few 12. I was flicking through on Netflix earlier, seeing what are the 12 rated.
Correct, Joe. Correct.
Joe Snowden, the reviews for Sinners have been great. You're bound to hate it, Phil.
Yeah, he will. He will. He'll come out of there and I'll go, "Oh, it was great. I see what Ryan Coogler was doing, and that bit with this and da da da." And Phil will go, it was really dark, and I didn't like the vampire thing and stuff. And then I have to stand in the car park with him while he moans. God, I don't want to go. Anyway, yeah.
Rohit, Phil and Glenn, you have been like a breath of fresh air. Keep it up. Love from India always.
Oh,
back to India, Rohit. Glad you're enjoying it.
Thank you.
Superstar Steve Jones. Big up Phil and Glenn. Big up Superstar Steve Jones. We're about to log
the police.
I'm about to wrap up, I think, unless Glenn's got anything else to add, or if you can get a quick question in.
What I can get, or somebody
Either,
can get a good question. Okay, I can't get a good question, but
yeah, value in a physical media collection.
Yeah,
I don't even know if we covered the topic, but
no, I don't think. I think these live streams are we start off with the best of intentions, and then we go off on a tangent.
Oh yeah.
I like these lives the best when we just start chatting about something, and then we go to comments, and the comments take us in a whole different avenue.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are reliant on people actually watching and asking questions and making comments. So please keep doing that. We do appreciate it. Honestly.
We need you more than you need us.
Yeah.
Sorry,
God, we sound pathetic now.
Yeah. But
we need you. Please, we need you.
Superstar Steve Jones. Just watched Sinners at the cinema.
Good, but not brilliant.
Brilliant.
The only reason I said that was I've been trying to avoid it like the plague, because you know what people are like. They love to put kind of spoilers on and kind of go, yeah, I've watched the film, look, and tell you all about it. But somebody said overhyped. Don't believe the hype. Yeah, it's okay. I don't get why all these people are looking. You know, everybody's got different opinions about films. Of course they have. Yeah. That's what makes it interesting. But there has been a wave of positivity, and I don't want you to get swept up in that wave.
Yeah,
surf that wave of positivity just to drown.
Fair.
Yeah.
Right then, and with that, I think we ought to wrap it up for this week. So I can scoot off and watch another episode of The Pit, and go to work tomorrow. Fun. Last one before we go. Joe Snowden.
It's Bank Holiday Monday. Are you at work?
Oh no, I'm not. Am I?
Yeah, you see.
Cool.
Hey.
The best. I look forward to reading the one person who complains in the comments afterwards because you were off topic.
They'll probably be there. So look out for them, guys. Keep them peeled.
I don't know. I don't know if we should bring back the decoration tips for another week, or if we should or if we should just start the book review club, because there's a couple of books I want to read soon that are being produced into film or movies. So I think we might do a book club one week.
There is me. I mean, I might come on next week in like painting overalls.
Yeah.
And talk about the best rollers currently on the market for doing your ceilings. Yeah.
Excellent.
You could be chatting and I'll just start. Oh, I'll froze up. And I'll just do a bit of painting. I'll do a bit of cutting in.
Do it. Yeah.
I'll do that. And you can talk and I'll just
to be honest.
Look at that line. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I mean, I don't know what people think to it. I don't know if it's worth bringing up discussions of gaming or reading or anything, or music and stuff like that every now and again. I'm not talking just for those things, but incorporating them into the conversation, or equipment that I'm looking at for playing back our physical media and how I decorate the space around it to get the most from it.
God, you and decorating.
Or if we just want to chat onto discs and now collecting habits themselves. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on Facebook. Let us know somewhere. But film
related books and things like that would be good.
Yeah. Something to ponder. Until next time.
Indeed.
See you all soon. Farewell.
Bye.